So today I'm really happy, excited, and full of joy that I can welcome Waimaania and Ojasvin to the Conscious Evolution Summit. And before we enter our space together, I just want to give you, who is now watching the recording and listening to the audio, a brief introduction about these two wonderful beings. So they are members of the Wisdom Circle of the Union of Ancestral Traditions. They are also co-creators of Grandmothers Healing Haka Integral Learning Program. They are yoga teacher, musicians, and also, I forget also, they offer this Payo ceremonial massages. And I believe much more than is just in this brief introduction. And you share your presence, your love, your wisdom really with people in different countries. And as I myself find it really so valuable to get different perspectives from different traditions and cultures and people on our topic of just becoming more conscious, more loving, more embracing human beings, and really come together in this unity and oneness, and basically master all these challenges we are facing all together. So I'm so excited that you are my guest today.
Thank you very much for your invitation, Puria. It's a pleasure to meet you and to meet all of you who are watching.
Yeah, and it's so lovely because I feel kind of as if you would be a bit part of my family, because my two daughters already had this chance to meet you. So Laura, just briefly, in a seminar center here in Germany where you offered your healing Haka training. She wasn't participating in the training, but she stayed in the place. And my younger daughter also met you in Puria, a yoga center in New Zealand already 2 years ago. So there comes kind of being more close with you, as I know my daughters met you. And maybe first of all, because some people might not know what does it mean, this healing Haka or this ancestral traditions at all. You know, we have an audience coming from so different backgrounds, and maybe we start with that you explain a bit the foundation of the work you are sharing.
I would like to just express that a big part of our teachings come from the Maori tradition, and it's part of the Maori tradition to open with a prayer. So I would like to ask Ojasvin if you could speak a prayer in Maori.
I tō anō pū he kākanoa io, ko tōna hia matua, kia tiritiria, kia tāmore, kia tupua, kia puawai, kia hua. Kia tū I te waunui a tāne ko te rāku oranga, ko te rāku mana. Whakapiritahi mai te Maori arangi, tukuna mai ki te mana papa. I wainganui te mana waha, te mana wapā, ko te Maori o te ora, ko te Maori aroha. E tūturu whakamaua kia tina.
Tina.
Haunge huie taiki.
Thank you so much. It's so beautiful. I feel the room is now full with even more beings, and I feel even more connected to nature. So thank you for this beautiful opening.
So returning back to your question, as I just mentioned before, we based our teachings around the Maori tradition. As 16 years ago, I met Ojasvin in Switzerland, and he had this beautiful knowledge and all these elements to share with the world. And when he was sharing what he had to share, I thought we have to bring this somehow outside into the world. And so we started the journey together. And the journey was naturally based on this, but involved all who we are, both sides.
For me, I feel today shamanism is it's the in thing and the in theme, but it's showing you that there's a global calling in humanity, that this unification process needs to happen because we've had a big period over thousands of years of this separation, and now we want to connect. And the old traditions have this wisdom of connecting back into the nature. And so I feel Waimaania and I are playing this role. I call her my rainbow bridge, connecting the two poles. I'm from the South Pole, I'm Maori, I'm a man, and she's a woman from the North Pole, from Switzerland. And we've entered this relationship, this friendship, this love, but we've also agreed to take on this challenge of being this, playing a role of this unifying people and energy and connecting people back to their purpose, why they are here on this planet at this time.
Mm-hmm. The Haka is a dance from the Maori people, but what we bring is beyond that, I believe. I mean, of course, their understanding in the past is very big, and how it's used today in its own way is helping them to keep their tradition alive. Yet the Haka that Ojasvin created with his grandmother, which is the base of our work, Urimara Matua, we call it also the Grandmothers Healing Haka, that we just had in Munich, is telling a story. Every Haka tells a story, but this Haka particularly tells a story about our world and the healing of this world and how we connect to the ancestors and into the future. So this is the base of our the foundation that we created. And then out of this, we created more and more a program or a practice. And from there, we created a foundation in New Zealand, a charitable trust, to protect what we have and to help us to do what we do. And then 2015, we started to prepare for formation in France. So we created an association in France, also called Grandmothers Healing Haka. So this is our umbrella or our tent or our house, where we have all the elements included. And it has become a part, something that people can join to transform their lives. Because with all the elements that come inside, there is a practice that they can take into their daily life.
So we're playing this role like mother and father, or this role of ideal couple. We're doing our best, but as we learn, as we grow on. So we're creating these healing Haka families all around the world. And why I mentioned the bridge, it's good to learn things from the ancient cultures, but how do we take the next step and apply the wisdom in our everyday lives? So we have Haka Family who are training together, and they are trying to do their best by applying the teachings into their daily life. And some lives are making some big changes and some big progresses.
Mm-hmm. And with this Haka, I mean, maybe some saw it in some on YouTube or in some films. So it's a combination of words and sound and also of movement. And maybe can you describe a bit this magic which is in this combination, basically?
When I was very interested in the Hawaiian tradition before I met Ojasvin, and I read in a book about the magic of vision, expression, and action. And I believe that the Haka has those elements within itself. Because if you have the prayer, which is the text, and you understand it, it's giving you a vision. When you speak the words, so you're expressing it also in the world. And then when you add the gestures, you're actually actioning it. So it's helping to manifest that vision. So it is very important that that prayer is very pure, very true, very good. So because it's leading life into a certain direction. And it acts like the rhythm comes with the gestures alongside too. So rhythm is planting things into the earth and grounds it. And the gestures are not any gestures, they are sacred body, they align with the sacred body geometry. So it is linking us back to ancient memory at the same time.
For example, just a simple gesture like this, or if I do it properly, it's like this gesture. You can find it in ancient Egypt, but just to hold this position is doing something in the brain chemistry. It's changing how you think and how you feel. When the brain chemistry changes, it's creating an emotion. And so already it's moving. So what we love to move when we give seminars, we're moving, we're meditating, we're singing a lot, we're doing special exercises, and the Haka is this big boat that's driving us through all these processes. So the Haka has become a great tool where it's actually bringing a lot of trauma out in people, because the trauma is an emotional state that's stored in the body, especially in the muscles, or it goes back through the ancestry and the DNA. And this powerful tool is moving a lot of things out in people, and by us singing and feeling it and being together like a family, helping each other through all the processes, reminding ourselves that we're not alone, we're in this together. The Haka has become a very powerful tool to shift consciousness.
That's very interesting, because I also have two people speaking really also about trauma work, because I also found it so crucial that we take care of this trauma energy which we are carrying and find proper ways to bring it in movement, to release it, to integrate it, and to really then embody the wisdom from it, not judging it as something wrong or bad, but really kind of taking all the medicine out of it which is in it, with all the experiences we have and we had. And I wouldn't have thought about it that it's also part of your work. But yes, of course, when you do deep work and prayer and the movement, I easily can imagine that this really brings up stagnated energy, basically, and emotions. And what also came to my mind while I was listening to you is, I often have this feeling we are not lacking so much information. We have a lot of information around and a lot of wisdom. But what I see is, I see it in myself, I see it when I look at other people, this really embodying it and bringing it into action. And I just assume that what you offer is really a bridge in finding ways to express it and to bring it into our actions. And I'm curious to hear from you your knowledge and your experience, maybe also seeing people, how they change and how it supports them.
I was just thinking of the fact that we have a lot of lazy cells in our body, and we have to activate them and motivate them, and always catch ourselves out in finding ways around of why we can't do something. And I just remember that some people in our seminars, they have really taken on the challenge of doing things and practicing it and doing it every day. We just got an email yesterday from somebody that participated in the Munich seminar, and she's writing that she's doing the exercises every day and is still learning the Haka, even though it's hard. And she's still struggling with it, but she's trying and forgiving herself for not reaching it. And I thought that's such a beautiful example, because that's often when we come to the place we do something and we can't do it perfect, we think, oh, it's not worthwhile to do it. But the process of getting through it, this imperfection, and accepting ourselves in the imperfection, that's actually the big change and the big transformation. And I'm humble, I will never get it perfect anyways, but I'm doing my best, and this is a good beginning. I believe that is a very much a key point for people to give themselves permission to make mistakes and to continue in this as well.
I wanted to share that, another perspective is that we are all spiritual beings coming into this physical dimension to have a human experience. And to have a human experience is to be present with all our senses. And in this modern day society, we're all anchored in the head. And that's a result of this separation. We're trying to figure out love with the head. We're trying to capture all this wisdom that's coming through the heart and through the experience in the head. And we often speak about these 3 centers of intelligence, or 3 centers of consciousness, and the youngest one is the head. It reflects the information. The heart is unifying everything together, and it's intuitive, it's a feeling. And then the center in the belly, which is linked to all these senses. So it's about experiencing, and what you said about actioning. So this is why we find everywhere in the world, a lot of people are not living or present in their body. They're more around their body and their intellect, thinking about things, trying to figure it out. But we live in a multi-dimensional world. And the Haka is bringing people into their body. It's bringing them in, where through trauma you always want to escape and leave and get out of the reality.
It's too much pain in the body, too much memory connected every time when you go in that physical state.
So Haka can provide you this courage, or engage those cells that are full of courage and fire, and it helps people to face those fears.
And I just remembered one person who decided to do the Haka and the practices every day. And then I remember she was standing up after 1 year, coming back into the same seminar a year later, and said, I've practiced the Haka every day, and it has changed my life. And then she paused and she reflected, and she said, it has really changed my life. And she had a little fright how much it had changed her life. So I think that when people really engage in something, whatever it is, any practice that they do, if they engage, they will be rewarded.
Yeah, and while I'm listening to you, I'm a bit sad that I never had experienced it, but maybe I come to your next seminar, because it really attracts me. And I really sense this one side where I can sense a cleansing and a clearing process. And I also sense this activation, which you also mentioned. So also like kind of a yin and a yang, you could say, or more male and female qualities. And yeah, that's really beautiful. And the other question which comes up, I mean, I guess most of the time what you offer is kind of a seminar retreat, which takes some days, a week. And is it then possible with what one learns during these days, as you mentioned, to take this and practice it on your own?
Some of it, yes, and some of it, no. But what we have installed so far is we have created families, like Haka families. Like there's a Munich region Haka family, there is a Rocky Mountain Haka family, there's a Knoxville, Tennessee Haka family, there's a Auckland, New Zealand Haka family. There was for many years a Moscow Haka family. So we have people that can come together again and again. We had a French team in the mountains, in Paris, in the south for many years. They come and go. But we would like people to continue meeting each other, because some people remember some parts and other people remember other parts. And the coming together to remember together is very essential. And not only the remembering together, but also the feeling of being together, not alone, is very essential. And it's not only the practicing, it's also the little things that happen in between, the hug, the smiles, the tea, the little talk about daily life. Because it's a family where it's not your physical family, so you can talk more freer with people, because you will, separate after and everybody goes their way. So you can just place things in a free way. So we find it's very helpful and very encouraging to come together, but not always easy to practice.
Because if you work with like energy dynamics and you're working on your trauma, it's very difficult to deal with it on your own. But when you have other dynamics in the space, things come up. But if you win this trust, the fears come up, or the difficulties come up, and the projections happen. If you're on the same page, you can help each other through their healing process. I think the reconnecting process is a healing process. And it's good if you're with like family that can assist you and help you on that journey. So this is what we are doing around the world, doing our best to create these families, because a lot of people want the same things. They're feeling alone. They want to feel community. They want to feel family. They want to be connected. They want to heal the connection with their ancestors. They want to know why they're here and now on this planet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it just came to my mind that so many woundings and trauma we have are related to dysfunctional or aggressive relationships. So I just think that being with other people together in a different way is such a profound field where we can heal these woundings, which often originated in difficult relationship issues. So it's basically impossible to do it just on your own.
I believe a lot of things happen because we lose a protocol in life. We can do whatever we want. It is a feeling of freedom, but it's actually not freedom, because it actually allows a lot of things to happen that are not good for us. And I think that's why in a seminar context, people feel so free, because there is a protocol given by the people holding the space. And they give clear boundaries, what is allowed and what is not allowed. And kind of, we like it because it's for a certain time of space, and then we can withdraw from it again. But what happens is we go in and out of that sacred space, but the longing is to stay and remain within that space. And that can only happen when we put clear boundaries for how we're gonna deal with the life and with each other and situations. And there's not much protocol anymore. We don't even say hello anymore on the street to somebody that walks past us. There's not many questions of asking, may I borrow this or may I borrow that? Some communities exist, which is very beautiful, but it always needs to have clear rules and clear boundaries, because otherwise people get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe if we can understand that again and cultivate ways of being together, then we will have a good chance to heal in community, because we do need each other. We cannot do it alone.
Yeah. And I just wonder, I mean, we touched a bit in the theory and in the, yeah, kind of the knowledge of it, and we shared these words. Is there anything you could share as a little practice which people could kind of just experience now while we are listening and seeing you, or also kind of could then practice on their own, just some little piece?
We just start the song. So we should start with the song. Yeah? We could start with singing.
Yes, that's a good
I
idea.
don't close this window because it's making a noise.
Yes.
So.
Te wahine, tēnei ki a koe, mātu a hi te rani. Ka nui te hari o te ngako, kua tai mai, e kuahi, haere mai, haere mai, haere mai, haere mai, ki ua, I tēnei mana, haere mai, nā koahi, tonu tonu atu, nei kupu, ka nui te ni, me tutaki, rumarawa, me tutaki, ki te rani, haere mai, haere mai, haere mai, haere mai, ki ua, I tēnei mana, haere mai, haere mai, haere mai, haere mai, haere mai, ki ua, I tēnei mana, haere mai.
I might have to explain a bit about this song.
So this song is about welcoming the divine, welcoming the God or Io is the God and the goddess and the oneness, welcoming this divine essence in your home. It's welcoming. Haere mai, haere mai, haere mai means welcome, welcome. Ki runga I tēnei marae upon your place, your space, your home.
But I always like to see this as my home. You know, my body is my home too. So when we sing this, I also feel like I would like to welcome this divine within me. So it's in my house, but in my house.
Yes, and I felt so much carried, like from a motherly quality, as if I would be a baby carried in the warm embrace of a loving mother. This was one notion and feeling I had, and also then I had a part where I felt myself like lying on an ocean and just being with these waves on an ocean, but really feeling so safe and so carried and loved. So this was kind of activated in me. And yeah, I just feel that we can talk a lot, but just with this example of just listening to this, I feel it's so powerful.
And you could even sing with it. That's what I love about Maori songs. They're often very simple in the appearance, where the complexity comes with the understanding. Like to say welcome, welcome, welcome in my house is one thing, but to understand what is your house, what does it mean, your house? And I believe that's one thing that is giving depth to life, when we understand that a house is a house, but is my house, but is this planet. So it's multi-leveled understanding, and I think we need to come back to this. And the Maori language is one of those languages that is like Sanskrit. It has a very deep meaning for every word. Mm-hmm. And we can go into syllables and understand one syllable and the next syllable, and together it gives a bigger understanding. Mm-hmm. So that my being becomes rich when I understand this and this and this. Then when I say the word, it's coming with all my understanding behind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and what I get is really it's reflected on a deep embodiment. So it's basically not really necessary to speak it out, but it's then a knowledge which is so much just part in every cell, and where every cell just practice this welcoming. You know, it's not just it's just other words like you described it, Waimaania, how I would say it. It's really being and becoming. I'm then a welcoming.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah. So we were shared, or we were given this understanding that Io is both male and female, the god and the goddess. And if you look at nature, you have a tree, and the tree is very present, upright, and he's reaching for the heaven. So it's like the male aspect, very present. And the female, she's hiding, she's the roots. And the spirituality works the same way. The presence works the same way. If you need to go high, first you have to go deep within yourself, and then the tree won't fall over. Spirituality is not all up in the heaven and all high, and you don't want to carry these responsibilities because you only want the high things, but eventually you will fall over because you didn't go deep in your roots. So for me, this is a good exercise, is to, as we're an extension of the nature of the universe, it's important to help ourselves to be present. Imagine being a tree and sending your roots down through your feet, connecting with this beautiful female aspect, the mother, the goddess, and then feel your crown in your head and reaching up into the heavens, and also bringing this God quality, this masculine part, and this helps with that process of balancing and connecting. This is a simple meditation or visualization that we do with movement, but first we normally get people to stand and feel their roots and feel their trunk or their body.
How about just doing it right now? You just guide it and we can follow.
Yeah, I have another exercise to start with at the moment.
Yes.
I was sitting here and I started massaging my hands. And I just wanted to share that one of the, because you were saying about coming home. And I know that this part of the hand is very much linked to this part of the body, which is homecoming. So, I think people have often not a very strong connection to their physical existence. So to just be able to touch oneself is sometimes a big challenge. But I remember my mother, when I was a child, she was always putting on hand cream because she had dry hands, but she massaged her hands. And I later learned that this part was so important to really connect. And yeah, I thought this is a very easy way. If you are in a place and you're feeling lost, maybe pull out your hand cream and start massaging your hands. So this is an invitation also to everybody who's watching to just massage a bit the hands and come a bit closer. And Ojasvin is showing another element.
I just imagine it also doing it. This you can easily also do before you have a meeting, or you could do it during the meeting. I mean, if you make it kind of a bit delicate, no one would be interrupted.
While you're in an interview, because nobody sees your hands.
Yes.
And Ojasvin was just sharing another part.
Because there's sensitive nerves through connecting to the fingers, and we often, when we do a special exercise, we will get people to massage their own hands, and this, we call it, activates the sensitive intelligence. So it's opening you up to feeling more and getting you out of this one.
Yes.
And best
I feel it while I'm doing it. I feel really like the energy moving down more in the body.
I just was about to share that it's the right hand that gives first to the left and then the left to the right. So the left hand is often, the left is the receiving side. So we receive first, so we can give. So that is just one of the exercises. Before we could do anything else, that question of that prayer of the tree of life, we didn't mention at the beginning, you said something that we were doing yoga. We have been part of a yoga school, which is called the Savajana Vijayana Yoga. In Europe, there's a school, it's called Min Elite. It has a base in Germany also. We have learned many, many elements out of this school. And in our seminars, we are sharing those elements. And people are allowed to take them home and practice them. We haven't yet had permission to do that online or to share it in public, in the sense of people to take it with them. It's just a question always how to guide and how to ensure the high quality of the exercise, because they're quite complex in their simplicity. And we like to bring those elements on the weekend and to go deep with the people and to make sure that they receive the correct information and the deep knowledge, and that they get the movements in the right way. So this is why we were holding back a little bit. So because also we have to understand that some of those exercises can cause struggle if we don't do things right. And today we often think we can do anything. Somebody was writing us an email one time, it's a while ago, Lucky. They were trying to learn the Haka from the internet. And they had a lot of Kundalini problems after. And it's not surprising because the initiation didn't come along with it. So it's an initiation process. And Ojasvin was sharing to me lately, there is so many very sacred prayers of the Maori people that you can just download from the internet. And one time somebody came and had a booklet and had written it and was so proud that they found it online and said, I've learned it. And we were just about to start a meal, and it was one of these most sacred prayers. And this person started to recite this prayer. The pronunciation was not yet there, and it was during a meal. And in Maori tradition, some of those prayers are never allowed to come together with food. So this person didn't know all these things because that's not written alongside the prayer that they found online. So this is another thing that we have to maybe consider, that when we find sacred things, to really try to find the origin of it and find somebody to guide us to learn it the way it should be learned. Mm-hmm. Because then it will do the right action for us. So I'm a very much standing in for laws and for clarity and structure. It's part of my being on this earth. To just to remain in the sacred space and to hold it sacred, in the sacredness.
I'm really grateful that you really, live this role and remind us, because we can fall so easily in such a consuming mode where we just consume everything just very superficial. And just by you reminding us and really holding the space of keeping the structure and honoring the sacred, I feel this very healthy and healing in itself to not just consume it, really value it and keep it. And as you said, I also studied 4 years with a different tradition, but also shamanic tradition, and I know what it means to just read something or be initiated deeply in something. That's such a different story. And I just hope that people, like I do now while I'm with you, because this is also our first meeting, but I can really sense the power, the sensitivity and the sacredness in what you carry and what you share. And people will also get all the website links and have the possibility to find out about more and maybe really come to one of your events which you are offering.
We're quite challenging to a lot of people because it's a responsibility. And if you want to walk this path, you have to face those parts that you try to avoid all your life. And we just would like to work with those people who really want to take that step forward and take that responsibility and grow with us, because we are growing. The universe is growing, we're in extinction, so we're always learning all the time. And even in a seminar context, we are in the process and we are growing and learning and changing and seeing the things that we need to change, and we are in this process.
And we have created a 3-year formation for people that want to go very far. So they spend 3 years with us, 22 days a year. And it's at the moment situated in France because that's where we work the most. And we have most people from there. But we have in this formation that we started last weekend, we have 3 people from Germany, 2 people from Ireland, Scotland. They are living between those 2 countries. And the rest of the group comes from France. But it's a way that we offer people to go very deep in what we share. So we have weekend seminars, 4-day seminars, 2-week tours, and 3-year formations. So there's the possibilities to grow.
So for people who'd like to attend our sacred journeys in New Zealand, they're like formatted like they're an extension of a seminar. So we encourage people, if they want to come on the sacred journey with us in New Zealand, they have to first come to a seminar. And there we scan them a little bit, but we prepare them for this process. It's an initiatic journey, it's a sacred journey, and we're helping them prepare, because you will meet both realities. You will meet New Zealand and you will meet Aotearoa. And we will bring them to have another connection with this old world.
I also wanted to say, like what you were sharing before about holding the sacred and you know, the initiation. And I believe many people go to so many seminars and experiences. And I believe one of the key factors is to treasure whatever they receive. And also to treasure the moments that we learn something and to hold still for a moment. Even in experiences that we might not enjoy so much, there's always something we can learn, and to treasure that part that we receive in this moment. So yeah, I really would like to encourage everyone to go through whatever they have received already and bring this out and see the wealth that they have already, and then on that one they can go further. Because otherwise it becomes like fast food and we never integrate.
Think it in the heart, think it in the head, feel it in the heart, and experience it in the guts or in the body. That's the key to really integrating the knowledge, is to bring it right into the body.
Shall we sing another song? A very simple one.
Please.
And I just love, as I said before, I love Maori songs because they're so simple, but so deep. Can we sing Te Aroha? And can you share the words with everybody before so they can sing along?
So the words are Te Aroha, Te Aroha, Te Aroha. Aroha means love. Te Aroha, Te Whakapono.
Te whakapono.
Te whakapono, pono, o pono pono. Pono means truth. Whaka is to activate or to create truth. Te whakapono. So you have te aroha, te whakapono, me te rangi mārie. Rangi māria, rangi mārie. Can you say rangi mārie?
Rangi
Mārie.
Yeah, me te rangi mārie.
Me te rangi mārie.
Beautiful. Tātou, tātou he.
Atu tatu he. And I can edit the words then also.
Would you like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's beautiful. Yes, and this is a traditional Maori song, and it's so simple, but it is bringing the essential things in life: love, truth, peace, and when they come together, it is a good life.
Te aroha,
Te whakapono, ni te rangi mai e tātou tātou. Te aroha, te whakapono, ni te rangi mai e tātou tātou. Te aroha, te whakapono, ni te rangi mai e tātou tātou.
I really feel the nourishment and the blessing I receive in just spending this precious time with you.
o reira huri noa kia koe te rangatira mō tō karanga kia maua. He tino hoki kia koutou e kitea mai a mātou nei I tēnei wā. I raro te korowai o te mātapuna ko io te kaihanga o ngā mea katoa. Nō reira huri noa ngā tātou nei tūpuna I korowai I manaaki I te tiaki mai a mātou nei. Whai ara wairua, āpiti hono tātai hono te hunga mate ki te hunga mate, āpiti hono tātai hono te hunga ora ki te hunga ora, nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. Kia ora.
Thank you so much.
You too.
Thank you for everyone watching this, being together, being touched by it, being moved by it, being inspired by it. And I will provide all the information you need if you want to meet Waimaania and Ojasvin and dive deeper in this ancient sacred wisdom. Thank you.
Kia uri, he uri no marama ho haurongo toa mātou. Kotahi nei, te hau manawa. He puha hake nei, hei whakaoho I te wairua, hei. Katu te ihi, hau e te tika. Katu te wana, hau e te pono. kaitaku wai wane te mana katu tangata here o karanga kia tata kia piri mai whakaiti wete wete kina maira nahe tuku na kiare kia inu kauata ui te waiora hei tuarahi kite hono me te rangi mai watu whangaia hui rawakore turakina hato te hunga here here kino sana sana ha here here kino sana sana ha o ngā whakatipuranga o rātou rangatahi no rātou mā mō ngā uri ke te haere haruia haruia honoa 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 ki te hono tangata ka puta